Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lineage Break, a Grand Archive TCG Podcast. I am your host, Cam. With me, as always, is Steven. Hello, Steven.
Hello, Cameron.
How are you?
No epithet today, huh?
Breaker of glues.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Usually it's like the
mother of steeds.
Yeah. usually, I get the trusty one. Yeah, you hit me with something.
It
was just Steve.
I gotta switch it up. I gotta keep you on your toes. If you know what's coming, I'm not doing a good job.
I'm just saying.
Woo!
I'm not used to just being known as Steve.
Trusty Steven. Hey. It's DTR Day.
It's DTR Day.
How are you all doing? I hope you are enjoying your DTR Day. Happy launch day. Kind of a surprising amount of stuff to talk about today. So on the show, we have, of course, DTR to talk about launch days today. We have a ban list that has been released to talk about. We have some new promos, maybe, if the powers of B are watching. We can see some more of those for the new season. And we have an important VTuber graduation announcement to make about the show as well. So we'll get to that towards the end of the show, so we can keep you all tears in your eyes waiting for the announcement of the end of the show. So, Steven.
Cameron.
We sat down yesterday.
We did.
At the midnight hour to crack some DTR.
We did.
For launch day.
We did.
Which was officially at 12 a.m. tonight. Or yesterday. Whatever. How'd your cracks go, Steve?
Better than last time.
It's fair.
HVN was not kind to me. And DTR was not looking kind to me either. And then on my very last pack of my last box, opened a foil UR. Not too bad.
We take those.
Not the greatest one. Was our spoiler card, though.
True.
I did open a foil Chrono Warp.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Looks good.
How about you, Cam? How'd you do?
Yeah. Well, listen, I have to, say this, of course, to you and to the people at home. I deserved an L, Last season, I opened the CUR.
And a CSR.
Which is pretty... No.
Yeah, didn't you?
No.
I thought you did.
No, just the CUR, but that's okay. I'm not complaining. So I opened the CUR last season, which is pretty crazy. So this season, I was sort of due for an L. They weren't as bad as they could be. I opened 2 cases because I didn't go too crazy for reasons I'll explain. But I also opened a foil UR. It was Sortier Vortex, the Umbra card. And so Steve and I did a little switcheroo because he wants that one, I want his one, and they both probably suck. Yeah. But they look good. Yeah. And then my second case was just abysmal trash. Opened a foil Alice. I was excited about that. Yeah. But that was the highlight of my entire booster case, which is not great, but it's okay. I deserve that one. We're saving up our luck for PTM. Yeah,
did some wheeling and dealing, though. Got everything I needed. I'm pretty sure. So that's good.
Missing a CL 2.
CL level 2 CSR.
If you guys find one on the market that's not insane. Of course, it is launch day, and prices are just criminally insane.
I would be looking to spend $400 on it.
Yeah, I think that's
reasonable.
I think he'll settle for sure. The only thing that would change that is if he's like giga broken or something. But I don't think so. I think he's fine. I feel. I guess we'll talk about how we feel about the champs in a little bit once we get through our opening stuff. So elephant in the room. Steve and I did not do great in our openings, but I can say that the local Lineage Break team did quite well.
Yeah.
All of the people around us did quite well. Yeah. Steven and I, not so much, but many a fancy card were opened. You all may know that I'm quite excited for the release of Alice. And if you guys are active in the Discords, you've seen my myriad posts, trying to buy Alice's and No offense to the people out there on Merlin's Marketplace. Secure the bag, as the youth says these days. But I, had an offer out for some money, and the posts that have been made this past day or so for Alice have been sort of crazy.
A little bit too expensive.
I was a little bit worried that we wouldn't get one, or that I'd have to wait a while, or find one at some point. But I have the most extreme FOMO of all time, so I need to hold the fancy card as soon as physically possible. But we're very lucky here at Webway Games, and I did not open a CUR this season, but somebody did. One of our very own Lineage Break team. Vault is his name on the internet, so you guys will see him in Boston with a jersey. Opened a CUR, and it is important to note that he calls himself Vault for a reason. He's a bit of a hoarding dragon, and never sells anything. But he is a very, very sweet man, and did agree to sell me his CUR because he knows how much it means to me, and that really means a lot to me. So, for you guys probably can't see it, but for thumbnail purposes, look at this. We did it. We have our, maybe you can see her. She's so cute. Alice. Number 16 is mine. You can see a post on Twitter where, I got my girl. And fastest shipping of all time. He walked across the room and said, "Here you go." And it was crazy. I didn't have to worry about it going in the mail, which I was terrified about. All is good. All worked out for me in the end. So we're very, very happy.
In our one LB vault, his cases were unbelievable.
Yeah, dude's insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Worth noting that he opened the CUR and opened a foil UR in the same box.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Not just the same case. The same
box. It was like, what the?
Yeah, and then pulled 2 other CSRs last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, insane.
Yeah. So that man's the luckiest man alive. So that's awesome. Check that box. Steven's mostly done too, which is not something that we expected to get in-house. Was most of the stuff that Steve needs. So yeah, just missing that CL2, but
it like literally not even
so
just
bad.
like almost finished the Lineage.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy that opened the one is the guy that's paying for my Lineage anyways.
Yeah, it all worked out. All worked out in the end. So yeah, it's been a good launch day for the boys. Not us specifically, but the people around us, and being able to get the things that we need is awesome. But also, it feels good to see your friends do well.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be us that opens
we
the
had
goods. So.
One LB Tex.
Mm-hmm. Also,
2
insane.
boxes.
Yeah.
Foil Looking Glass.
Yeah.
CSR
Duchess.
Yeah. Like
in 2 boxes.
In 2 boxes. Oh.
Pretty crazy. So it's been pretty good, and we are excited today to play our first maiden voyage of the format. I will, if you guys are interested, maybe post the deck that I'm playing tonight somewhere on the internet.
It's a deck.
If I win a game, I will be very excited.
Not a match.
A game. But we are playing Alice tonight with as much text as we can give her for the time being. And we'll see how it goes. I think the new heroes look pretty cool. We've done a little bit of testing. Obviously, we haven't gotten into the sort of nitty-gritty of team testing for the event yet. That's coming up soon. But preliminary opinions, Steven. Preliminary opinions about the distorted reflection variety.
I have not played into Diana.
No, Alice is bad. Don't worry about that one.
Yeah, I have not played into her either. But I haven't played Diana a lot. But what I've seen of her is she attacked for big number.
Yeah.
And if you cannot deal with
big number,
you've probably lost against her. She seems pretty good. I think she's pretty consistent for what I've seen. we have one Lineage Break Joy Boy and I have been building CL in multiple facets and playing off each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think we have a pretty solid water CL list that feels pretty good. There's like some tweaks that should be made to it, I think. However, I think it's pretty good, like pretty solid at this point. Our fire CL list feels the same. We've done some pretty gross things with it. However, that one I think still needs a lot of work. So I think overall CL feels really good. Consistent, high damage. Same thing with Diana. If you can't respond or don't have a way to protect yourself from attacks, you're not going to have a good time. We have not done any fire aggro testing, which I think is probably going to be
pretty scary.
The meta. I think that deck
Pretty
is
scary.
probably terrifying, especially with some of the new Kindle cards that we've gotten and some of the cards that prevent you from healing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The fiery interference.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
And
I know Pora loves that card.
I think there is also a CL allies list.
Sure.
I put one together, but
It's like Wind Allies?
yeah, like Wind allies.
sure.
But I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if his token generation, if those tokens matter.
Yeah, what are they? They're what, 2/2s?
They're 1/1s.
1/1s?
For every attack omen you have, they get +1 attack.
Okay, sure.
And then for every ally omen you have, they get +1 health.
Gotcha. So they're probably like 2/2s, 3/2s maybe.
Yeah. So it's a weird.
Yeah.
They're weird, and a lot of the cards that make them don't feel great.
Sure.
I think there's one that like on enter makes one that's probably fine, but like the attack, it's like an attack for like 3, and then you have to pay 2 or something into it to make one. Doesn't feel great.
Yeah, I mean, not all things are created equal, right?
Right.
Like they make an archetype for new champions in every basic element, but surely not all of them always work out, and so Wind might be the one where CL falls a little bit behind.
I think there is a point to play Wind Sail though, because the new SR ring,
it's good.
Regalia, that gives you taunt all the time, makes Vanguard's Reversal really good. Makes that a 2 for 5 every time.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
That's really good.
Yeah, I think the set seems pretty good. Obviously, it's like we said, preliminary. This is day one. We've been doing a little bit of testing beforehand, but we haven't had index for very long, like about a week now.
Yep.
And so we haven't obviously had time to dig into things. But I do think, at least in Grand Archive history, you can often sort of see the like light at the end of the tunnel, right? It's very rare that a champion or an archetype comes out and is like feels holistically unplayable or bad or whatever, and then we're like extremely wrong about that. It's like, oh, it actually is great. We just didn't figure it out. Like usually you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and so big shout out to Kong Ming or
Dao Chan.
level 3 Dao Chan, right? Where they just like really don't have that. I think it is pretty apparent in DTR that both Diana and CL do have some power and some strength that can be extracted with the right list and with the right set of skills. So I think it looks pretty good. It feels like it's been a long time since we've felt that way about the set sort of holistically. It sort of feels like to me like MRC, where like all of the new champions were very good and evident that they were going to be very good and just needed some refinement. Like obviously the day that MRC came out, nobody was really playing Tristan. There was just lots and lots of slime players, and then it quickly became a Tristan format when people figured out what that deck should look like. And then obviously it flipped back after the Outlook ban, but it does sort of feel like that, where I think both of the decks, not Slime's Outlook powerful, but powerful enough to be able to find some sort of meta relevancy, which I think is good, especially for two classes that have been having a bit of a rough time in as of late. Diana players struggling a little bit, and obviously Tony players struggling a little bit. So it's nice that Guardian and Ranger now seem to have a through line to a deck that they can bring to an event, as long as their name isn't Poro. You can find a Guardian deck you can play.
It is very funny too that the Ranger deck it's just Diana still.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually like really impressed with. I don't have that. I guess I don't have the connection to Diana either, but like I don't have a connection to Guardian or Tenoris to have like a sort of palpable feeling about what it means to be those two things. But
Right.
I think it's really cool with Diana, who I at least have played an amount. I think the melding of class and element that they've done with Diana, I think is really, really cool. Like, she does still feel like Diana 100%,
Right.
even though she is a completely different deck with a completely different subsection of cards and a completely different advanced element. She still feels like Diana, but she also still feels like an Aster deck, and
Right.
I think they really nailed that as far as,
What's your opinion on Aether Aether Calling? That's what it's called. Yeah, Aether Calling.
Maybe we can use this to transition into some slight complaining, as we do have a ban list update to talk about today. Aether Calling is really good. As a longtime Astro player, feels a little, Aether Calling's pretty good, and it does not have a downside.
Yep.
There's no palpable downside to Aether Calling. Obviously, I guess the downside is that they are all bullets that go into a gun, right? They go into a thing that is interactable. Theoretically, they do mostly have Spell Shroud. But they go into a place that can be interacted with, which I think is the downside of Aether Calling. But as far as a mechanic, it is absurdly strong. Like, I watched our own LB Sean yesterday. Glimpse 9 and Aether Call 6 cards, and then play a Comet Fall. And that's something I will never have the ability to do. I do think the mechanic is quite strong. I do think Diana does have a really, really high ceiling. And that is a little bit frightening. There is a small amount of Aether Calling cards, and I think on purpose there's only 4, I believe. I believe there's 4 full play sets that you can play of cards that have Aether Calling. I think playing 16 is probably correct, because they are extremely strong. I do think it's sort of a necessary evil, though, and I think that's what I mean. And we can transition to talk about the ban list. Is a problem traditionally that Aster has had is Star Calling, obviously a very powerful mechanic, but you do need a density of it to make your strategy playable, and that was a huge part of why RE for a long time was not playable, is that when you only have X amount of cards that actually do anything with your mechanic in your deck, you lose when you don't see them. Mm-hmm. And so I think Diana has fixed that problem in that she does have a density of Aether Calling, and she can also play the Star Calling cards should she want to, which gives her that density that she needs. But that is the problem that Ari had for a long time before Polaris was printed, that she didn't have enough damage in her deck. She couldn't find enough Star Calling cards, so she couldn't use her mechanic effectively enough. So, Steve, speaking of Polaris, there's a ban list update this week, sort of out of nowhere. I don't know if you feel the same, Steve, but
we definitely, it wasn't announced, right? Like
we were coming up on one. Like, sure, usually it's on launch day.
Right.
I just mean that like, it's like a pretty big change that I wasn't expecting them to make, which is interesting, I think. So, Steve, I'm going to pull it up. You give me your thoughts about the ban list and tell the kids what happened.
I guess we can start from the bottom.
Yeah.
What is it? Tidestone Bovine.
Tidestone Bovine.
Added to
Cow.
Category
Beef.
1.
Cow 1 beef.
Yeah. Watching the... That's good. So it's added to the watch list, which is, I think, understandable. I think Genbu has shown strength over the meta in recent events. I think over the last season, Genbu put up some pretty impressive numbers. So not not understandably that it is.
Right. Card very powerful,
Right.
for sure.
It's a very good enabler.
Weebs of the Shore had these words to say regarding Mr. Tidestone Bovine. Tidestone Bovine is added to Category 1. Bovine has been a staple of many water strategies due to its consistency to fuel the graveyard and inflate the pool of floating memory far more efficiently than any other sources. We recognize that this is not typically the power level we seek to design in allies that are repeat enablers. As such, we will continue to monitor this card in the upcoming meta. We hope that the ban of Lost in Thought, which we'll talk about, is sufficient to hit the absurdly high card advantage potential of these strategies, but will re-evaluate Tidestone Bovine and other water cards as we continue into the DTR meta. Notably, as well, I don't think really needs much thought given to it, but Gaia's Blessing has been removed from the watch list because Sylvie sucks and Terra is unplayable.
Correct.
That's what they said. Those are Weeb's words, not mine.
I do not think there was any changes to 2.
No.
I believe it is still just Polaris and...
Polaris, notably, still a Category 1.
Oh, it's still a Category 1?
Yes,
Okay.
did not move up.
It is...
Got its own.
It's Mirror and...
Mirror and Chalice.
Chalice,
Yes.
that's right. Coming off of Category 2, as Cam just said, we have the official ban of Lost in Thought moving to Category 3. And I think most players saw this one coming. It's been Category 2 for a while. And I think, like I was saying, Genbu and other water strategies really abused Lost in Thought to the point where it provided so much advantage. In the fractal decks, you use no resources. You tapped your fractals at the end of their turn. You cast Lost in Thought for 4, drew 4 cards, and then you just influence capped your opponent to the point where they just can't come back into the game.
Yeah, I've been pretty vocal about this locally. I don't know how much I've actually talked about it on the show because you guys don't care about my meta opinions or whatever. But Lost in Thought sucks. It is like either the best card in your deck or the worst one.
Right.
And I think it feels really bad as a water player where you are sort of incentivized always to play Lost in Thoughts, and I see so many people that like build water decks that are playing like 8 floating memory and 4 of them are Lost in Thoughts. I'm like, that this card doesn't do anything. Like it's not the card that you think it is if you're not looking to abuse it. So it is either just like absolutely a do nothing card that I think serves no purpose, or it is the most absurdly powerful thing that water can do, and there's never an in between.
Yeah.
And so I think mostly not even for like power level concerns. Obviously, there is a power level concern, and we'll see what Weeb said about it in a sec. But I think this opens up deck building a lot. I think we were really restrained by the perceived power of this card. That anytime you build a water deck, your first goal should be, can I make this a Lost in Thought deck? Because the card is so absurdly powerful. Yeah. And so it's cool to be able to move away from that, where people won't have to. It's like a package of cards that come with Lost in Thought that you have to play in your deck, because why wouldn't you? If you draw 4 with Lost in Thought, you just like unequivocally win the game, right? Weebs says, Lost in Thought has been a powerhouse card in almost every water strategy. These strategies have not been challenged as much as we'd hoped with the available card pool. With the increased meta share of powerful graveyard strategies and with the advent of DTR and its further support for graveyard-focused decks, we are banning Lost in Thought effective on July 25th. That's today. We hope that this ban will push the meta to be more diverse and healthy by disabling water decks from generating undue card advantage. We will continue to evaluate the health of the graveyard interaction broadly. So, yeah. What we said, it's too good, and it restrains deck building, and especially, as they said, with more graveyard synergies, you don't want Lost in Thought running rampant.
Mm-hmm. Now for the elephant in the room. Polaris has been errated to being a 1-cost Regalia now. So instead of it being 0 and free, now you do indeed have to pay 1, either float or memory cost, to materialize it. Card functions the same other than that. And there are people, and I'm like 50-50 on the card, or on people's reasonings. people are saying that Polaris got a buff because...
Nerf.
Let me get there. People are saying Polaris got a buff because now it is a 1 cost and cannot be reduced to ash or Mustanged. So people are no longer being punished for materializing it in your main. However, on the other hand, Arisana is a tempo deck, and it costing 1 to materialize is enough to throw off your tempo enough in certain matches where it is a detriment. So there's 2 sides of the coin, right? And people are going to argue both, and I'm still on the fence on whether or not I think it's a buff or a nerf. I have to play into more RE matches to see. We know where Cam lies. Cam, get your soapbox ready. You can go on your tirade now.
Hey man, this sucks. Feels so bad. I think I do think it's important. I don't know. I'm just gonna sound like an asshole. It's hard for people that don't play RE to realize how bad this is. It like feels so awful. Most games that you play with RE, you are wind RE. I mean, meta wind RE. Your deck doesn't do anything for like 2 or 3 turns because you are usually playing 20-something Astra cards. So your deck basically doesn't function until you hit level 3. The only thing that you could do before you hit level 3 is pressure people with your Polaris. And some popular RE players, shout out to Pro-An, will tell you that most of the time you just put your Polaris into your opponent's face. Because if you put your Polaris on the board, the alternate activation with Arisana bonus, you put your Polaris onto the board. And the worst case scenario, this is assuming you're not playing against water. When you have to play around Fracturize, you have to do things a little bit differently. But you put your Polaris on the board, and you're playing against wind or the fire or whatever. And they have a reduced ash, or they have an unbroken Mustang or something, and they kill your Polaris. That sucks. Feels really bad. It becomes way more difficult to win the game without Polaris. Not impossible, but way more difficult. But your opponent did have to trade a card, and it didn't cost you a materialize step, and it didn't cost you any resources. So in a deck where usually you are the one losing all of the resources because you hard level most of the time to get to level 3, in this exchange, even though you lose the best card in your deck, your opponent did have to spend a resource for it, and so you are sort of up on that exchange. It's going to be harder to win the game, but you still did extract some card advantage out of your early game. You don't get to do that anymore. So you can't really shove Polaris into people's face, because if they have the answer, you paid 1 resource for that, which is extremely precious to you in the early game. And so if you've paid 1 resource for this and then it does get answered, you get heinously punished. Steve is right. There are less answers to it, with Reduce and Unbroken Mustang no longer being options. But that's not to say that there are no answers for it. You get still punished by stuff like Fracturize, or even things like Zephyr if they're timed properly to make you upset. Anyways, RE will be okay. It's not the end of the world. This isn't the Stone Scale band nerf that made that card almost holistically unplayable. Yep. This is fine. Card still functions the same way. It does really hurt Ari, though, and especially moving into an aggro-based format where she was struggling as it is to break into the top level. We have, very few Spirit winners that are Ari players. Shout out to Aqua. But I think it's going to be hard in a meta that is much more predominantly aggro-focused for her to be able to find legs against those decks. But I can understand that it does go both ways, right? Like if fire allies or a fire aggressive deck were to become the meta deck, Ari, as it stands before they printed Fiery Interference, is like a 90-10 into those fire aggro decks. It is almost impossible to lose. That is no longer the case with the nerf to Polaris and obviously the printing of Fiery Interference. That will become way more of a real match, and I think that is important if that is how the meta settles. Mm-hmm. I would like to say one thing before I read Weeb's thoughts on the issue. It's fine. We'll live. I, however, am firmly confident that this was not a nerf to Polaris. I think Polaris is a perfectly fine card. I understand the implications that it has against ally decks, but I do truly believe that Polaris is a perfectly fine card. It is not a perfectly fine card when you can play Excalibur and make a second copy of it.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that this was, they have a big chunk here that we'll read about why they did this to Polaris. I am firmly confident that it is because of the printing of Excalibur.
Yeah.
Because I was 100% slamming Excalibur into my Ari deck, and that would be oppressive to have 2 Polaris, I think, 100%. So,
yeah. I attack you for 1. I attack you for 1.
Yeah, insane.
I make another
I have
Polaris.
2 Polaris. I will put counters on them, and I will use the first to put bolts into my deck and clear the board, and I will use the second to hold you hostage for the rest of the game.
Yep.
She would be unequivocally broken. So, yeah. That is, I think, why this happened. So, shout out to Merlin, ruining my life again. Polaris Twinkling Cauldron receives an errata by increasing its memory cost from 0 to 1. Polaris is a card that we designed with the goal of giving Arisana decks increased resilience towards ally-focused strategies, while also greatly improving the consistency of its win condition. However, Polaris has proved too effective against these ally strategies without any significant drawbacks. We try to stay away from unhealthy design spaces where too much power gets focused into one card without reasonable penalties. Polaris in particular has proved to be so powerful that it not only invalidates some of the opposing strategies, but it also severely limits options while deck building for the Arisana player. This errata seeks to address the power level of Polaris in a healthy way, while also paving the road for more space to design additional support for other kinds of Arisana strategies, without being forced into a Polaris/Cosmic Bolt deck every time. I do think that's true. As well. It's a very similar issue to Lost in Thought. However, Lost in Thought, Genbu without Lost in Thought is a worse deck, but not an unplayable deck.
Mm-hmm.
Ari without Polaris is an unplayable deck, and so I do agree with them. I like Polaris because it made my favorite champion playable, but I don't think Polaris is particularly healthy. It's a very large band-aid on Arisana's card pool. And so in the future, RDO, cough. If we get more Arisana support, I think it would be really cool if Ari can build without needing Polaris. And then maybe we just ban it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, it's that sort of Guy's Blessing thing where people just stop playing it because it's not good enough if she has another way to play the game. So we are hopeful for the future of Ari. I understand the Band-Aid is fine. You guys will be okay. There's actually a significant amount of cards for you to experiment with in DTR, so I encourage you to do that if you're an Ari player. There are quite a few pretty potent tools, and so I think that is maybe being understated a little bit, that she did probably get a reasonable amount more powerful, especially in the Aster department, and so maybe this nerf is a little bit more warranted than even I am giving it credit for. So
I just hope that in the future of Arisana,
yes,
we do not see a Lucent Arbiter buff.
Yes.
I am not a Lucent Arbiter enjoyer.
Yeah, she's really cool, and I love Ari, and you guys know that. But diversity would be nice, and they are right. You cannot build an Arisana deck that is not a Polaris Cosmic Bolt deck. They just don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in the future, hopefully we can see some increase in that. I think Diana is a great ancillary to that, which seems like a much more healthy design for an Aster deck, and that does not mean that healthy design for Aster cannot also come to Arisana.
Right.
By, just giving us different Star Calling cards. Obviously, Star Calling is her mechanic, and it should be more powerful than Aether Calling. But currently, basically all of the Star Calling cards just say, you do damage face. And I think it would be cool if we got other cards.
I guess to piggyback on this,
yeah.
What would you like to see Arisana do other than shoot you in the face for 4?
I think Merlin, hate that skank bitch, as Poro said one time, is a good example of a deck that is very light on ways to end the game, but she wins the game through card advantage. And I think it would be cool if Star Calling could have that avenue as well, as there are virtually no cards that Star Call that generate card advantage, because that's scary, I understand. But that is a way that you can take Ari where even if there's only 4 bolts in your deck and you have card advantage as a win condition, 4 bolts is enough. The problem is if you only have 4 bolts in your deck and your influence is 3, it's very hard to push over the edge.
Yeah. I also find that producing a card advantage through Aether Calling puts you into that a very dangerous game where you're just playing 12 copies of hard counter spells or negates.
Right.
That it just provides like a very boring game experience.
Yeah.
And
I know people don't like negate.
That's like my issue with Lucent Arbiter is like.
Yeah, if it works. And and to be fair, to your point, that is a dangerous space. If you give Ari more card advantage, it does become make Lucent Arbiter specifically more playable.
Right.
I don't personally think that there's a huge issue with like negates as cards because they do cost you cards, but I do agree that if Lucent Arbiter was good, that would provide problematic because it doesn't cost you any resources, right?
Right.
You only have 4 Astral Seals. Yes, it sucks when people have 4 copies of Astral Seal, but like they do run out. But yeah, if they don't run out, that is
but
obviously frightening.
But right, so they don't run out because Lucent Arbiter is very strong. Also, Horde Counter exists. That card is also very strong.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And I just not to talk about that shit game that we always bring up, but that deck was a deck in a format, and it was miserable. Countertop was not fun to play.
Yeah. I understand how people feel about negates. And I'm curious. I always sort of go back and forth about how Weebs feels about it. Like we just got Imperial Accord, which is like basically a hard negate that everybody can play now. Which I don't know that card's going to see play, but it is an interesting design space that we like keep getting cards like that. Incapacitate, of course, a prime offender. I think as long as it's designed around smartly, it can be okay. I think Spell Ward Scepter, a new DTR card, is massive for the game, for sure, to give people that are worried about these hard negates some utility and some
a little bit of reach.
Pretty hard to interact with way to get past those. So we'll see. But I agree. I'm not really a blue player at heart. So I'm happy if my beloved Ari is not a mono counter spell deck. That's fine. Okay. So that's our ban list. I think good for the game.
I think a healthy list.
Lost and Dodge specifically.
Correct.
100% correct, I think.
I would like to continue to see, other art. Like I understand, like obviously, it's predominantly water cards because that has been the strongest deck for the list. Excuse me. That's been the strongest deck for the last 2 formats, right? We had the Icebound Slam, a Fractal Penguin deck, a Fractal Polar Depths deck. The season before, then we had a very strong showing of Genbu this current season. So it's understandable that most of the cards that have been put on the watch list / ban list are water cards. But it would be nice to see other strategies being shown a little bit of attention, I think.
Yeah, I have to hope. I'm not a fire player. I really am not. I have to hope with DTR seeing a tremendous amount of support for fire. I have to hope that this is the time that fire is once again on top. And, some of you don't remember this, but there has been a time where fire was good, and fire was good in the dawn of time, in the before FTC times. Fire was the best element. Creative Shock, an insane card. Fire Sander, an insanely powerful deck. And it's been a very long time, not only with fire not on top, but with water on top.
Right.
It feels like it's been decades. And so even though that's not the strategy for me, I really do hope that the fire decks are good enough to see some real meta share. It was so cool to see Fire Sander in the top 8 of Worlds this year. I'm sure if you asked any of those players, maybe Perfy in the chat can speak to that. There is no chance in hell they would have submitted Fire Sander to a tournament that they did not have the amount of knowledge about that they did for Worlds. There's no way any of those players were taking FISA to the Swiss stage of Worlds. Right. And so it's been pretty hard for the fire decks to find purchase And so I hope they do. And I hope we do see an aggressive meta because it's a nice change of pace where not everybody is holding up blue cards and Genbus with 65 health. We might see some, more interactive low to the ground games in DTR. So
yeah,
and some advanced element stuff as well.
Yeah,
hopefully 4CL and Diana.
Which specifically, I just want more level 3 decks in general. And I know that Weebs at Worlds said that is their goal moving forward in the future, is to produce cards that make you want to go to level 3.
Yeah.
And I think Exalted cards are definitely a step in the right direction. I think a lot of those cards are really cool. Yeah. And I think the design space of Exalted cards are pretty cool.
Yeah, I think ironically, let's just ban water. Water is the problem, I think. Everybody sort of assumes that if you're playing these slower advanced element decks that it is not water that you have to worry about. It's the aggressive decks. It's like, oh, how can I play an advanced element deck when there's Faiza running around and wind allies? But the thing that I think is important for people to think about is it's not those decks that are actually gatekeeping the advanced element decks, right? Because typically, I would say that the fast decks are bad matchups for the advanced element decks, but it is a hurdle that you can approach and overcome, right? If you build your advanced element deck to be good into those aggressive decks, you can.
Right.
But the problem that sort of strategy has is with these water decks that we've seen for the past couple of formats. That is really where the advanced elements struggle. It's not against the aggressive low to the ground decks, it's against the decks like Fractals that are holding up interaction, have extremely high burst potential. So they are sort of like an advanced element deck, but they're faster than you.
Right.
And same with Genbu, the same with these Icebound Slam decks, right? That can pressure you and can play that fast game like an aggro deck can, but they have the interaction that an advanced element deck should have. And so I think if water is not on top of the totem pole, even if fire aggro is the best deck, obviously we don't know that that's true. We're just saying that as a sort of example. You can build your advanced element deck to beat the fire aggro decks.
Right. I think, and that the best, a perfect example of that is with water Neos.
Yeah.
Into fire aggro, I usually don't have an issue.
Right.
Because I have so much prevention that sure, you're going to swing for 13 on turn 4 or whatever, but I'm going to prevent half of it.
Right.
And then I'm going to have 30 health and you're going to be out of resources.
Right. But it is the Genbus or whatever.
Right. It's the water decks where it's just I've set up all of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to play this dungeon guide.
Yeah.
I have nothing left in my hand because I've gone to 2.
Yeah.
Negate. I can't pay to stop it.
Right.
Now I'm even further behind.
Right.
And I'm just going to get bullied out of the game.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. And Chikaplu, head of organized play, says that heavy advanced element formats are interesting, and I think people don't want to play them as much as they beg for them. And that is maybe true. I think maybe people don't want the level 3 decks as much as they ask for them because they don't understand what that means. I do. But we'll see. And hopefully if that is the new design strategy, at least, for a little bit of time, is to give some more support to these advanced elements. Maybe that really isn't what people want. Data is data, right? And if that is not what the community wants, I'm sure that Weebs will react in kind. But it is something that we haven't seen in a long time. And I think it is, it would be cool. We've had it a couple of times. I always think about the Diana Luxem format back in ALC. And that was one of my favorite times to be playing the game. And that was a very advanced element focused meta for sure. And still pretty fast. I mean, Diana's a fast deck, even though she's a level 3 deck. And so, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I just want to play my cool purple cards, dude.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm a Timmy or whatever archetype of card game player you want to put me in, but I look at Grand Archive cards and I look at basic element cards as a means to an end to be able to play the things that I think are legitimately cool in GA, or I guess that's a bad way to put it. The things that I think are the coolest in GA, and that is the advanced element cards, bar none, every time. I'm always, scrolling to the bottom of index to look at the, the last 30 cards instead of the instead of the ones before that. So, yeah. So, 2 more things to go over before we get out of here for the last time as the show is ending. We do have some new promos that we saw yesterday, which is pretty cool. We are rounding out the season. Does the season end tonight? I believe today is the last day of Revelfest. I'm not 100% positive on that, but season is ending, I believe, today, which means a full week from now. I believe next Friday is when the new season starts. We have a little bit of downtime in the unranked season. But it means that we are getting our promos for next season, and that's very, very exciting. We have seen 2 of them though so far. Notably, anybody that has not been super in the loop, as of this current season being HVN season, we have dropped bronze promos. So we are silver, gold, platinum, and then, of course, Ascendant. And so we have seen our bottom 2 promos. Our silver promo, Steven.
Our silver promo is Devastating Blow. It's finally a promo from
Steve wants.
The rank promos that I want to keep, and I will be buying or trading my gold for. Very excited for this, and it has the boy on it, so I'm so pumped for it. I am playing 4 of these in my deck currently.
Yeah,
so
card's good.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and I do think that at least so far is something worth noting as well. Usually, promos are cool, and they're a good way to get reprints and alternate arts of cards. Usually, though, they're not all very good. Sometimes none of them are very good.
Correct.
But this season so far, both cards that we've seen are very playable and have seen play for large swaths of time and probably will see play in the future. So yeah, our silver promo is Devastating Blow, and then our gold promo is a reprint of Evasive Maneuvers, which again, a staple in these Diana decks. We've seen very, very many times we've seen Evasive Maneuvers played, and there are a lot of cheap distant enablers now, so this isn't the sort of de facto 4 of that it once was. Sorry, I have to sneeze. But it is still quite good and still a huge consideration, and especially, again, if we are moving towards a somewhat faster format, giving up something like, reposition gives you floating memory. Giving up something like that for this damage prevention might end up being worth it. So get this gorgeous new Evasive Maneuvers with hot new Diana on it.
Musketeer Diana.
Pretty cool. Musketeer, not Magical Girl, but Musketeer Diana. And then hopefully later today we'll see Platinum, and hopefully the one I really care about.
CPR.
No. But yes.
Wow.
But no, I care about the Judge promo.
Oh, Judge promo.
I want to see my new Ari art. If it's not Ari art, I flip table. You think that you can nerf my precious Polaris and then take Ari off of my Judge promos? You'll never hear the end of it. So if that's what you were going to do,
a Judge promo.
Don't do it.
Judge promo Polaris.
That would be sick. Are we done? Theo, are we done? Please. If this is the price that I had to pay, I take it. Please. Polaris can't get worse. Please just print it as a foil. Please, dear God.
Then Cam's entire material.
It's the last one. God, please. I would kill a person.
Theo in chat says, Judge promo for you, Cam, smiley face.
Thank you. Does that mean you're going to post it, or does that mean that it is for me? I don't know, but that would be great. Yeah, I am such a deranged person, and I apologize to every Arizona player out there on the planet that they could make Polaris cost 2. If it meant they would print a CPR. Nerf it so it's unplayable. Just so that I could have the CPR.
I don't think you understand. Every card in Cam's material deck is foil.
Yeah.
Except for 2 cards.
Yeah.
And one is his artist-proof Spirit of Water, or Spirit of Wind.
Yep. True.
When he plays normal Spirit, most of the time
or
it is
foil serene or
foil serene or fracturized. The second one is Polaris. Everything else is foil.
Yeah. To be fair. True, but also my Cosmic Astroscope, but that'll be fixed shortly.
I didn't count that one. I didn't count that one because you are getting that one soon.
Shortly. Oh, it says they'll post it when Jaden posts it. Thank you. I don't know that it'll make the show, but I will be very excited to see it. Steven, let's hold hands.
Yep. This is an important announcement, guys.
We have an important announcement for you at the end of Lineage Break episode 96, I think, which is crazy. I believe it is episode 96, but I could be wrong. I did the math, and I think episode 100 is like the week after Boston, so I think we're like episode 96 or something.
Yeah.
We want to thank you guys so much
for all the support you've given us over
for
the
all
years.
the support that you've given us over the years, and it's been terrific doing this show for you guys, and we really do appreciate all the support and the love that we've gotten for Lineage Break. But now that we have not been accepted into the creator program, we are no.
Jesus.
We're moving. So this is as far as we know, unless plans change. This is the last episode of LB in the tiny closet, and we've been here for 3 years, and so it is. It's a little bit bittersweet that we're leaving and moving on to hopefully a better set. We're going to be in a bit of a time of flux. No, this will not affect your regularly scheduled Lineage Break. We will be back next week. Yeah, that was the joke, Poro. Yeah, we're not quitting. It's funny. So our plan, a little bit inside baseball, but maybe you guys care. Maybe we'll pull out the vlog camera and film a little bit of our journey. LB Sean, lovely friend of the show. You guys saw him do his interviews for us at Worlds.
He's also Tiffany in all of our
true.
spoiler videos.
True. Has become much more involved with LB lately, which is awesome. But he, kind to us, Steve and I are poor millennials. He has a space at his home for us to set up our studio, which is cool because this is my LGS where I work. And so it'll be cool to not be changed to my work to do our show. Mm-hmm. But that space that we are going to be working on for the permanent home of Lineage Break is going to take some time as we're doing some upgrades, and we're going to try to make the set look nice for you guys, and hopefully it will be pretty cool. But in the meantime, we are squatting in Steve's office because the job that Steve works has an office they just don't really use. And so, at least for the next month or so, we're going to be squatting in Steve's office. So this week, we're going to move the whole podcast setup to Steve's office. And then, like a month after that, we're going to move it to our new permanent location. Mm-hmm. So you guys will see, a weird on-location Lineage Break for a couple of weeks. But we're leaving our humble closet. And so we appreciate the support that you guys have given us. Not like, you've allowed us to move or whatever, but we care enough that we want to make this, give it a permanent home and be able to make it a little bit our own. Obviously, we have our set dressing and our table and stuff, but it is not necessarily our space to do what we want to. And so with the new permanent location in a month or two, we're hoping to make it a LB home. So
a little bit more us coded.
Yeah. So we're very excited about that, and we hope that you guys are excited as well. So look forward to next week. We'll be in a weird, very nice office, and we'll be shooting the show there for a couple of weeks, and then we'll be moving on to the new LB home. So, yeah, that's about it. What did I do? I nerfed Ari. Yeah, I know. No posts yet. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. It's about all we have for you this week. We will see you next week. Not exactly sure what we're talking about. I'm sure that we'll get some hopefully newsy news. We'll talk about these new promos next week. Talk about how awful I do tonight playing my terrible Alice deck. I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Woo. Woo. You can Lineage Break me in half is crazy.